everyone, and welcome to the webinar on School Readiness Tax Credit, Updates for Claiming 2018 School Readiness Tax Credit. My name is Nasha Patel, and with me in the room are Erin Carroll, Samita, and Leslie. And the four of us will be talking about School Readiness Tax Credit, answering your questions today, and going through some key dates and information that we think will be valuable to y'all over the next year. So today we'll be talking about Louisiana's unique tax credits that promote high-quality care and support families, centers, and staff as they're serving children to help them increase their outcomes. We'll be talking about our vision for kindergarten readiness and provide an overview of school readiness tax credits. We'll be talking about what to expect for 2018 school readiness tax credits, and then we'll look at next steps, available resources, and take questions. You can chat us questions using the chat feature of the webinar, and we will answer them at the end of the webinar. You can also always email your questions to earlychildhood@la.gov. This webinar is being recorded, and both the slides and the recording of the webinar will be posted on the Louisiana Believes website. Let's start by talking about Louisiana's vision for kindergarten readiness. Over the past 5 years, Louisiana has unified the early childhood system, birth to pre-K, to prepare all children for kindergarten. This means shared high standards for what children should learn and what excellent teaching looks like. That teachers are excellent at interacting with children and guiding learning. That expectations for health, safety, and learning are consistent, and that adequate funding levels are promoting programs that serve children well, and that families can easily enroll and choose the best option for their children. Louisiana's school readiness tax credits have been aligned to this vision for kindergarten readiness and promote the work that communities and centers are doing across the state every day to offer high quality care for young children. This slide shows the implementation timeline from when Act 3 was passed in 2012 to unify the state's early childhood publicly funded programs to now, fall of 2018. Communities have been leading this implementation of our unified early childhood statewide system since 2012. And this started several years ago with an initial 13 early childhood community network pilot. It went to statewide implementation in 2015, 2016. And then in 2016, 2017, tax credits, along with other supports and funding, were aligned to support programs and to engage families. The first year performance profiles were published in 2017 based on the 2016-2017 school year. These profiles were published on School and Center Finder in fall of 2017. The star ratings based on those profiles took effect in 2018, and this is the first year that programs will be able to apply for school readiness tax credits based on the unified quality rating system. I'm going to hand it over to Erin now to talk a little bit about what these tax credits are and how they can be very valuable for your programs, for your families, and for your staff.
Great. So first, we're just going to talk a little bit about how these tax credits work. So we are all very familiar with our Louisiana School Readiness Tax Credits. This is a very unusual feature for Louisiana, and they have been around since 2007 and have really served as a valuable incentive for childcare and represent a really big investment that the state makes annually in quality childcare. So we know that these tax credits support families to choose quality rated centers. They encourage providers to serve our publicly funded, vulnerable, at-risk children. They support directors and staff to pursue additional education or credentials or meet policy requirements. And then they support businesses that donate to child care centers and to resource and referral centers in order to help child care within the region. So the school readiness tax credits are very essential to our sector. So they help us maximize funding. So the tax credits and the financial investment from the state help Louisiana secure over $80 million in federal funds. So we need them policy-wise for that purpose. Much more importantly, though, they encourage centers to serve CCAP children, and they help us drive improvement. So child care centers are rewarded financially if they are serving more of our CCAP participating children based on their provider tax credit. And they are also rewarded for improving quality, which is now measured through our performance profile scores. Child care directors and teachers depend on these tax credits. This is a huge portion of the funding that goes towards tax credits. It goes straight to directors and teachers, which we know is really important as these are incredibly demanding jobs that are often underpaid. And we want to reward our teachers and directors for their dedication to professionalism in the field. And then finally, they increase local support and investment in childcare, so the businesses and resource referral agencies are able to use the credits to gain additional local financial support. So part of these tax credits have really, or the revision of these tax credits rather, has really been an essential part of the Act 3 implementation that Nasha was speaking to earlier. So as Louisiana has built a unified system that prepares more children for kindergarten, we have looked to align the school readiness tax credits to really further support and reward the providers that are participating in that system. So this has involved redefining STAR ratings to recognize sites that are providing quality interactions and instructions as measured by class, reward performance and improvements via tax credits and bonus payments, offer new options for directors to reward site performance along with credentials, and then offer new options to attract and retain certified child care teachers that are meeting that ancillary certificate requirement and years of service, and then maintains the existing incentives for families, private individuals, and businesses to support child care improvement. So this has been a long time coming. We first began talking about the changes for school readiness tax credits back in the beginning of 2017, and now we are here almost at the beginning of 2019, and we want to really talk through the timeline for these changes very carefully. It can get very confusing when we're talking about a combination of school years and tax years and when individuals are filing for their tax credits versus when the tax year they are filing for. So this all really began in January of 2018. So it was in January of 2018, last year, when centers were filing their taxes for 2017, and they were receiving their credits based on their 2017 STAR ratings and credit levels. In January 2018, centers found out what their new STAR rating would be for the 2018 tax year. So this is based on their performance profile rating. And also in January 2018, teachers and directors began qualifying for tax credit levels based on the revisions to school readiness tax credits. We're now almost to the end of 2018, which is hard to believe, but here we are. And so throughout that year, centers have been receiving their final quarterly bonus payments based on their 2017 STAR rating. So that happened in February. That was for the final quarter of 2017. And since February, the quarterly bonus payments have been based on the 2018 STAR rating. So as a reminder, the 2018 STAR rating is the STAR rating that a center had as of July 1, 2018. It's the STAR rating that they had through the vast majority of the calendar year 2018. So now we're closing out 2018, and as we get to January 2019, we will begin filing our taxes for this year. So as centers, teachers, and directors file their 2018 tax credits, they'll be using their 2018 STAR rating. So this is the rating that they had for 2018. Additionally, centers will find out in January 2019, they will then have their 2019 STAR rating already assigned. So that's the rating they received on the performance profiles that were just recently released. All right, so this is a summary of the key changes that have taken place for our tax credits. I'm going to go through these quickly here, and then we will have a section talking through the specific changes for each of these credit types. So for teachers, there have been a few key changes here. So now, in addition to earning credits based on advanced degrees, teachers with an ancillary certificate may be able to earn up to $3,400 annually, and that's the approximate, for working at a publicly funded center and for receiving tax credits for more than 2 years. And in just a second, I'll talk through the specifics of what that looks like. But basically what that means is teachers who have their ancillary certificate and have demonstrated that they have been in the field for multiple years will be able to qualify for increased credit. It's important to note that as a result of these additional qualifying credit levels, staff won't lose their current credit, these only add options. For directors, directors can now earn credits based on their own qualifications or based on their site performance. So Nasha will talk more about these later, but there's now an option for directors to earn a credit based on their star level rating, or, as it has always been, based on their qualifications. And then for providers, so it was as of January 1, 2018, stars were issued their stars based on the unified rating system. And so this is the rating that will be used for the 2018 taxes. Providers can earn credits based on their star rating and the amount of children funded through CCAP. And this is what your quarterly CCAP bonus payments are based on. So beginning in 2018, we are very happy to say that more providers and staff are eligible for SRTC credits than ever before. So for eligible providers, all licensed Type 3 centers participating in the unified rating system as of July 1 in the tax year and are rated 2 to 5 stars. And then the size of the SRTC was still, as it always has been, dependent on the number of children attending the center through CCAP. So that leads to an increase in the number of providers that fall into that group. Even more so, now the eligible staff are defined as staff at a licensed Type 3 center that is participating in the unified rating system. The staff must have worked at the same center for at least 6 months for an average of 30 hours a week. And staff must be registered with Louisiana Pathways. Okay, so now I will talk us through in a bit more detail about specifically what the teacher SRTC looks like for 2018. So this is a little bit of a complicated slide, so I will take my time and talk through it. I do want to say that the changes that I'm talking about here are specific to 2018. If you want the full ladder, what this looks like for going forward, that is available in our guidebook and with Louisiana Pathways. However, for beginning with 2018, these are the qualification levels summarized here. So for Early Learning Center Teacher 1, somebody with a CDA or approved early childhood diploma can qualify for Early Learning Center Teacher 1. Early Learning Center Teacher 2, the key difference here is that if somebody has their Early Childhood Ancillary Certificate, they will qualify for Early Learning Center Teacher 2. So this means that if somebody has used their CDA to get the ancillary certificate, they can go ahead and qualify for Early Learning Center Teacher 2. For Early Learning Center Teacher 3, this is where it gets a little complicated, so just bear with me. So going forward, teachers will be able to qualify for Early Learning Center Teacher 3 if they have their Early Childhood Ancillary Certificate and have been working in the field for at least 1 year. I'll talk in a second about how we demonstrate that. Going forward, individuals will be able to qualify for Early Learning Center Teacher 4, that's our highest level, by demonstrating that they have their Early Childhood Ancillary Certificate and demonstrating that they have worked in the field for at least 2 years. However, for this year, because we are in 2018 and we just implemented these changes in 2017, we are in a little bit of a different situation, and it means only good things for you all and for our teachers. So for this year, if an individual was enrolled in Louisiana Pathways as Early Learning Center Teacher 1 or above as of 12/31/2017, and they demonstrated evidence of eligibility for their staff school readiness tax credit once before, they will be at Early Learning Center Teacher 3. If the individual was at Early Learning Center Teacher 1 as of 12/31/2016, so going 2 years back, and they demonstrated evidence of the eligibility before, they will qualify for Early Learning Center Teacher 4. So this means that many of our teachers who have been enrolled in Louisiana Pathways for 2 years or 1 year will be able to receive an increased tax credit if they demonstrated eligibility for the school readiness tax credit once before. The way that we do that is by mailing back that extra school readiness tax credit form. We're going to talk about that more in 1 second. All right, so there are a few other key updates here. So as I was talking through, we have changed the qualification levels to be updated to support and recognize our teachers who meet the early childhood ancillary certificate requirements. So as I mentioned with that crazy complicated thing I just talked about, with the 2019 school readiness tax credit, which will be filed next year in 2020, when you're filing your 2019 taxes, you will need to have the early childhood ancillary certificate to get those increased tax levels. Keeping in mind, there is no reason that anybody who is at that Early Learning Center Teacher 1 can't get the ancillary certificate. All of those credentials qualify you for the Early Childhood Ancillary Certificate. So if you have questions about how to get that, please email earlychildhood@la.gov. It can significantly increase you and your staff's tax credit level. An important thing to note is that individuals who have the Early Childhood Ancillary Certificate will be auto-enrolled in Louisiana Pathways as preliminary members. So if you have not yet enrolled in Louisiana Pathways, but you do have your ancillary certificate, you will be contacted and notified that you are a preliminary member and may be able to qualify for tax credits, obviously if you meet the other qualifying criteria. These individuals are encouraged to enroll as full members by submitting all the required information to Louisiana Pathways. And then the last key update, in order to earn any tax credit, it's not just about being on the ladder. The staff member must have also worked for an average of 30 hours a week for at least 6 months of 2018. Okay, so we want to just give a few reminders about a few communications that teachers have received and will receive. So everybody who has an early childhood ancillary certificate likely received a postcard from the department over the summer. This is to notify you that your information about the ancillary certificate will be shared with Louisiana Pathways unless you have opted out. Additionally, everything that I was talking about with qualifying for increased tax credits is dependent on demonstrated evidence that you have earned the tax credit before. The way we know that an individual has earned a tax credit before is that they have mailed back the additional copy of tax form R10615 to Louisiana Pathways. So as a reminder, last year, everybody who got a tax credit received 2 forms, and they were asked to send that back to Louisiana Pathways. If you have not done that, please make sure we are following up on how to do that ASAP as we're getting to tax season. So the key next steps for all of your staff that are qualifying for credits. In January 2019, teachers will receive from Louisiana Pathways instructions for completing tax form R10615 These are the same types of directions we've always sent out. The key difference here is that you're getting 2 copies. So this happened last year, it's happening again, so we want to give lots of reminders because this is a very valuable step that you can take by sending one original and signed copy back to Louisiana Pathways. The other original and signed copy should be kept or submitted with your tax documentation, just as has always been done before. So just as a reminder, I know many of us haven't looked at these forms for a full year. This is what the R10615 looks like. So staff and directors will receive 2 copies of this. One is for your tax documentation purposes. One is to be mailed back to Louisiana Pathways. This is a new process that we want everybody to do every year with their second form. And this is the set of directions that you will receive in the mail with the 2 copies of R10615. All right, and now I will turn it back to Masha, who will talk us through the Director SRTC.
Great, thanks, Erin. So similarly to the teacher tax credits, in Louisiana, we made changes in 2018, or for the 2018 year, for the Director Career Ladder. What this means is that directors will be able to qualify for new levels of the tax credit, starting with the taxes that they're filing based on the 2018 year. So this is a big change. Essentially, it's nothing but positive for directors because it does not take away how they previously were qualifying for the various director levels, but it does allow them to move up the director levels if they are the director of a high quality center based on their class ratings that they earned on their performance profiles. These are the performance profiles that you earned in the 2016-2017 school year, because that is what informed and really drove your star rating for the 2018 year. And you will file for your 2018 taxes based on the star rating from the 2018 tax year, which is what you file for in 2019. So the years could not be more confusing, but we will keep iterating and saying them over and over again to hopefully try to make it more clear, or as clear as it possibly can be. So basically, if you are a director who meets the director qualifications from Bulletin 137, and you have been the director for at least 1 year of a 3-star quality rated center on July 1, then you can qualify to be Director 2, even if you don't meet the credential requirements for Director 2. So if you meet the Director 1 qualifications, you had a CDA, and you meet the other requirements about membership in an early childhood professional organization, and you meet the service to the profession requirements, you can move up to Director Level 2. If you're the director of a 4-star quality rated center and you meet the other requirements for Director 3, you can qualify as a Director 3. And if you have been the director for at least 1 year of a 5-star quality rating center on July 1, and you meet the requirements to participate in an early childhood professional organization and meet the service to the profession requirements, you can be a Director 4. So we have communicated with centers who may be eligible for this increased school readiness tax credit based on their ratings. The way that this communication was provided was letters were emailed to the centers with the new SRTC level for which they may qualify. The reasons that they may qualify for increased SRTC is that they scored between a 4.5 and 7 in the 2016-2017 school year, which resulted in a 2018 center star rating between 3 and 5 stars. That the director was a director of record with licensing for the 2016-2017 school year, during which that star rating was earned, and the director meets the other requirements from Bulletin 137, including the requirements related to membership in an early childhood professional organization and service to the profession. Those letters were also provided to Pathways, so directors don't have to take any additional steps to prove that 3, 4, or 5-star level to Pathways. Pathways has that documentation. However, to claim SRTC, directors must register with Pathways. It is not enough for your center to have just scored between a 3 and a 5-star rating. You must also register with Pathways in order to claim the Director SRTC for 2018. This is really, really valuable tax credit. It can be up to $3,400 a month. Up to $3,400 a year. That's an approximation, but it's an opportunity for directors to get this refundable tax credit based on the work that they do in their centers every day to promote high-quality care for young children. It's critical work, and we want to make sure it's being rewarded. But in order for you to access those credits, you have to register with Pathways first. We're going to move on from the staff and director SRTC to talk a little bit more about the provider SRTC. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that timeline. So if that was confusing to you, we'll have a few more slides about what that timeline really means. The state now rewards performance and improvement via the tax credits and the bonus payments. And so what this looks like is your star rating for your center is now directly aligned to the performance that you are showing on your early childhood performance profiles. So if you earned an excellent rating, your center is a 5-star center. Depending on the score you earned with your proficient rating, you may be a 3 or 4-star center. And if you scored approaching proficient, you are either a 2 or a 1-star center. And the tax credits per eligible child are also included in here, meaning for the children who are being served through CCAP full-time, for each one of those children, you can earn these amounts of money on your school readiness tax credit. So the example included below, if ABC Childcare has earned 3 stars, so they are proficient, they scored between a 4.5 and a 5.24 in the 2016-2017 year, and they serve 10 eligible children through CCAP, then that provider is eligible for a refundable provider SRTC of up to 10 children times $1,000 per child, or a total of $10,000. This is a refundable tax credit. So this could be huge for your bottom line, especially if you are serving children who are served through CCAP and are economically disadvantaged or otherwise at risk. I want to walk through this timeline again. So star ratings are based on the performance profile results of the previous academic year. So for tax year 2018, which is the tax year that we're in now, the academic year performance profile results are from 2016-2017, the previous academic year. Your star for that year became effective on January 1st, 2018. And you use that star because it's what was effective on July 1, 2018. So that is the star that you use for the 2018 tax year. For tax year 2019, you will use the academic year performance profile results of 2017-2018, which is the year that just concluded, and the performance profile results that were just released through Louisiana School and Center Finder earlier this month. Those stars from the performance profile results from last academic year do not take effect until January 1, 2019. And they will be in place on July 1, 2019, so you will use them when you file your taxes for the 2019 tax year. So the year that we are in now, the school year that we are in now is 2018-2019. You have started doing your class observations for the 2018-2019 school year. You are probably in the middle of your fall observations. These class observations will inform the star rating that takes effect on January 1, 2020. And they will be in place for the 2020 tax year. The state also provides tiered bonus payments at the end of each calendar quarter to eligible licensed Type 3 centers. The percentages for each year are shown below. So this year, 2018, were the percentages that you see in the first column. So every quarter, you received CCAP bonus payments with this percent multiplied to the amount that you were paid through CCAP for serving children. So for example, if you were a 3-star center, 11% of your payments you received as a bonus payment each quarter of the 2018 year. In 2019, this will switch to the percentages that you see in column 2. As you can see, we are phasing out the 2-star bonus payments. So it drops from 6% last year to 4% this year. And this will start for the 2019 year, and it will be based on your star rating that you earned for the 2019 year. So your last bonus payment based on your 2018 star rating will be for the last quarter of 2018. And beginning January 1, your new star rating will take effect, and that will be used to calculate the percent that is applied to your CCAP payment to provide your bonus payment. You can see what this will look like in 2020 and then in 2021 and beyond. And you will see that we are phasing out the bonus payment for 2-star centers that are not reaching that level of proficient or above. So while school readiness tax credits are an annual benefit, providers are receiving these unified CCAP bonus payments automatically after each quarter. So there are more immediate benefits that you're able to access. The first payment based on the 2019 star level will be made in May. So basically the first quarter of 2019, January, February, March, is paid in May. The second quarter, April, May, and June, is paid in August. The third quarter, July, August, September, is paid in November. And then the last quarter, October, November, December, is paid in February. What that means is that your 2018 star rating has been used to determine bonus payments for the 2018 tax year. And the last payment based on that 2018 star rating will be made in February 2019. So you will get your last payment based on your 2018 star in February 2019. And you will receive your first bonus payment based on your new star level that takes effect January 1, 2019 in May of 2019. So now let's talk through the next steps for claiming your school readiness tax credit. Teachers and directors will receive a letter indicating their level from Louisiana Pathways in January. Teacher levels will be based on career ladders and their ancillary certificates. Director levels will be based on career ladders and center performance. Pathways receives the information on ancillary certificate and center performance from the Department of Education, but the career ladder information must be provided by you to Pathways, and you must be registered with Pathways to provide that information. Please remember that teachers and directors will receive 2 versions of the tax form R-10615. Please make sure you are mailing one of those copies back to Louisiana Pathways to be able to achieve the higher levels of school readiness tax credits that Erin talked about before. Directors and owners must sign the teacher and director forms that are submitted to Louisiana Department of Revenue and mail them to Pathways. For providers, we will provide directions on filing your provider SRTC. You cannot file the provider SRTC earlier than March 2018. To file, we will provide y'all in March with a file that has your average CCAP number. That is your number of eligible children. We will provide that to you in March, and that's when you then go and you apply for your tax credit by filing your taxes. For families, the department will mail packets to centers to complete and distribute to families in January. This helps families to access tax credits that support them to be able to afford childcare. And businesses and resource and referral agencies will receive the same documentation that they've received in the past to file for their 2018 SRTC. We have a number of resources available to help you understand the Louisiana School Readiness Tax Credit. Since since the star ratings are now published on louisianaschools.com, the Louisiana School and Center Finder, to assist you in accessing your previous star ratings for the previous years, because we know actions sort of overlap over the years, we've published the 2017, 2018, and 2019 SRTC levels for centers. This is available on our website. It's an Excel file. And it can make it easier for you and for your families to understand what levels your center has achieved in which years. We also have guidance that provides information about each credit. And we've released FAQs for staff and directors, businesses, providers, and parents and families that reflect the 2018 changes. we will provide a link to this webinar and the presentation on the Louisiana Believes website, along with other SRTC documents. And the link to access those documents is here. So lots of information, lots of resources available. We're always available to help answer any questions. So we hope that the information provided in this webinar, along with the guidance documents, will help to ensure that y'all are able to access your tax credit and access the more than $16 million that Louisiana is investing through these school readiness tax credits to promote access to high quality care for our young children, and ultimately to help achieve our goal of kindergarten readiness for all children. I'm going to pause and let folks chat in their questions using the chat feature. If you aren't sure what your questions are now, but have more questions later, you can always email them to earlychildhood@la.gov, and we'll be happy to help answer any questions you have and support y'all to access these valuable tax credits.
Great. We did receive one question about the information that Pathways needs to enroll. So in order to enroll in Pathways, the required information for them has not changed. So that includes the application form, the employment verification, everything that they have always needed and is currently posted on their website. The only difference is that if somebody is not enrolled in Louisiana Pathways and they have earned their early childhood ancillary certificate, we are sharing their basic information with Louisiana Pathways so that they can be preliminarily enrolled in Pathways. We strongly encourage those folks to go ahead and fully enroll in Pathways though. If you did not mail your form back to Louisiana Pathways, you likely received a reminder from them recently. That reminder should have let you know that the time to do so is quickly coming and that you need to get that mailed in ASAP. If you are looking for information on if you need to secure another copy of one of those or specifics, you can always email us and we will connect you. Again, that's earlychildhood@la.gov.
We'll wait a few more minutes to see if any other folks have any questions. You can use the chat box to chat us your questions. All right, folks, we appreciate y'all taking the time to talk with us today about the school readiness tax credits. We hope that y'all will all take advantage of the school readiness tax credits and this really unique opportunity to promote high quality care in Louisiana Oh, I did just get one more question. So somebody asked if a director can drop to a teacher in order to claim a higher tax credit. The answer is no. If a director is a director for a center, they must claim the director tax credit. However, we know that there are some folks who function as both directors and teachers, and in that situation, you know, you can apply based on whatever your employment verification form stated. You need to use what you told Pathways you were employed as at a center. So typically those folks are employed as teachers and just maybe interim step in as a director. But if you function as a director at a center, you should apply as a director for your tax credits, and you should use your employment verification form status to determine that. Somebody else has asked, can Head Start directors apply if they are site directors? And the answer is yes. Head Start directors, as long as they are in licensing as a director of a site, can apply for the director tax credit. You do need to complete the employment verification form and register with Pathways. All right, well, thank you again for joining us today and talking about this really valuable set of tax credits that we have in Louisiana. Please let us know if we can answer any other questions or support y'all as you are working through this process of claiming your tax credits for 2018, 2019, and beyond. Thanks again.